Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3, as far as storytelling, at least in my opinion, is probably the best out the three. Granted, it feels a little rushed and so much happens at once. In my opinion, it's still better storytelling than the past 2 seasons. Season 1 got monotonous really quick, and granted they had gotten better in Season 2, there was still some unnecessary filler, at least in my opinion. But when you get to Season 3, everything just starts happening, and once they start, it never really stops. With the exception of the first 3 episodes, which was introducing masks, right, that they really never touch upon again, with the exception of some lines thrown in some episodes. The next part of the Power Rangers story that changes everything would be the next 3-parter. I forget the name of it, but it's introducing the Ninja Powers, the Ninja Zords, and even Rito. And then not too long after that, we get introduced to Kat. And then basically everything going on with Kimberly, her leaving, and then even Kat becoming the Pink Ranger. During that same time, we get introduced to the Shogun Zords. And then by the time that's somewhat wrapped up, we get introduced to Master Vile and then the metallic armor. And then this is during the period where they first introduce and talk about the Zeo Crystal and the Zeo powers. Which I appreciate. They were planting seeds for the next series, and at that time, not a lot of people knew that. So in the span of 30-something episodes, not only do we get a permanent cast change, we get new powers, new villains, new sets of Zords, whereas in the past 2 seasons, there were some filler in between. Sure, you do get some filler episodes, but not to the extent of Mighty Morphin Seasons 1 and 2. And I understand a lot of that was out of their control, simply due to the fact of contract negotiations and a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I would say you would have to watch Linkara's History of Power Rangers to get the full grasp and analysis of it. And then I also lumped Alien Rangers in there, for one, because it's part of the miniseries, but also they're really still part of Season 3. Like, if you buy the Mighty Morphin box set, you do get Alien Rangers with them, so I throw them in with Season 3. And I know a while I asked the question, who are the weakest Rangers, and they were in there. But honestly, sure, they have that factor where if they get dehydrated, they're basically done. But as far as strength and power, they're essentially on par with the Ninjetti Rangers and the Ninjetti Powers. They're honestly not that weak. Sure, they have a terrible drawback with them being dehydrated and them basically being based off of water. But as far as strength goes, them at full power, yeah, they're on par with the Ninjetti Rangers, which means they could defeat Seasons 1 and 2 of Mighty Morphin as far as power goes. Like I said, it's more or less the pacing I have a problem with when it comes to Season 3. The fact they shortened it to 30-something instead of like 40-something or 50-something is great. But it's just the pacing. So much happened so fast, so quickly. Other than that, it was definitely an enjoyable season. I would not mind watching it again.